Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
All right, y'all. Hey, welcome back to another episode of The Lounge. Um, we're gonna take some time out from being jokey to talking about MLK. So, there's a documentary that's on Netflix that talks about who really killed Malcolm X. All right, Malcolm X. I'm sorry, Martin Luther King. I'm jumping. My bad.
I want to joke for a second, but we're gonna be serious.
Yeah. So a lot of details came out about the death of MLK and some of his relatives, right? Mama died, his brother died.
Mm-hmm.
Who was who was in charge at the time and whatnot, and we're just gonna pretty much just have an open discussion about MLK. All right. Martin Luther King Jr., if you don't know. But recently on Monday, previous Monday, we celebrated his holiday. So all right, so D-Lo, I'm gonna leave this off with you. All right. So what does MLK mean to you, man?
All right. Firstly, let me, go ahead and top it off if I recall already. Seen something earlier about one of Martin Luther King's descendants passing away this year too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he passed away from suicide or something. So condolences to the King bloodline. So yeah, that's first. We start off with that. In addition, Martin Luther King, you hear so much and so little about Black history in school. And at the same time, you hear Martin Luther King name on top of it all. He was one of the prime examples of a person who was willing to do what you had to do to get your voice heard and your point across. Now, no, Martin Luther King worked with both sides of the pencil. When I say that, African American people, white people, it didn't just be like, I'm going to stick with my African American roots and it's all about African Americans. No, yes, it was about getting his voice heard and getting us as people free and our rights. But at the same time, he understood the political aspect of the world. I got to work both sides of the coin in order for us to achieve a grand desire. At the end of the day, him working both sides of those coins sadly resulted in, his death. And along with that, we greatly appreciate everything that was done throughout history, especially him as being one of those top names that you hear. So Martin Luther King, I want to say, is one of my biggest idols, but he does hold a place with me in the understanding of Black culture and history.
Okay. Jay?
So when a thought popped into my head, right, when you brought up about working with blacks, working with whites, so forth, different nationalities, cultures, and everything with Martin Luther King, but sticking with your own. And the thought that popped into mind, I had to type it down real quick. We may fly together, which is what he was trying to do. He was trying to fly as all one people, but we can't flock together. Let me elaborate. When I say we may fly together, we all trying to be successful. We all trying to live. We all trying to survive. We can live in this society together in peace. All right. But when we flock, we cannot flock together. When we are in the sky, we got wings. We got sky. That's our commonality, right? As people, regardless of color, that's our commonality. But what divides us is what takes place on the ground, right? All birds eat worms, but some birds eat crickets. Some birds may eat grasshoppers. We ain't all the same. And we may fly together, but we can't flock together. So we're gonna take care of we're gonna take care of us as people. But we all gonna get to the finish line of what we need to be as humanity. All right. Martin Luther King, you cannot speak on equality, civil rights, and so forth without saying MLK. Can't do it. And if you can, I refuse to do it. Because that name is synonymous with civil rights. Mm-hmm. What he chose to fight for, we reaped the benefit of. We slowly started reaping the benefit then. We're still reaping the benefits of it now. But we're also fighting. Unfortunately, we're fighting that same fight now. But we wouldn't have the teeth to fight that fight right now if it wasn't for Dr. Martin Luther King and those who came with him, or those who walked with him, so forth, who walked that same path or a similar path. You cannot say civil rights. You cannot say equality. You cannot say turn the other cheek without saying Martin Luther King. His legacy, that's a whole other conversation, I would think. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Martin Luther King, man. I appreciate everything, that he stood for. I definitely reap the benefits of it. My spouse is mixed. And, during those times, that was frowned upon. Mm-hmm. That was, again, we may fly together, but we can't flock together. We flock together now in some forms. So I reap the benefits of that. Because, again, like I said, that was frowned upon. To be in a relationship with anything other than your skin color, they burn crosses in your yard. Yeah. They came to visit you, and it wasn't fair. So yeah, me, I definitely appreciate everything that he stood for, everything that he fought for. I appreciate the benefits. I appreciate the opportunities that's been granted to me. On behalf of Dr. Martin Luther King and all those who walked that similar path as him.
Okay. So, Martin Luther King Jr. to me, just in the same respects as Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. Those are probably the three most iconic people, African American people, that push for a lot of stuff for us to for equality. Really, if you want to look at it, just treat us as equals because of all the stuff that Black people have done for this country.
Absolutely.
This country would not be here if it wasn't for us. Some people were sympathetic to it, others weren't, and even people from in the African American community weren't. They wanted things to run the same way it was back then, and you still have those same people with those ideologies that still want things to go to the way they've been and don't change, which things have to change so that we can get to attain true equality, right? Because obviously we don't have equality here. I've seen in the past 2 years, I've seen Black men and I've seen white men get tried for damn near the same crimes. And out of those, let me say, out of those 6 cases, the white men got severely less than the Black men. I want to say 4 out of the 6 cases. We're not talking about the police that were found guilty for Ahmaud Arbery or I forget the sister's name.
Breonna Taylor?
Not her. Because Breonna Taylor, they didn't find any. They still haven't done anything for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then they smeared the shit out of her. Like that's what. It's not the fact that what's debatable. What the facts are is that they shot her in the back. They had a no-knock warrant. They went in and they came in guns blazing. And then the neighbors that were there said that nobody announced themselves. So that tells me that they busted through the door, guns blazing. And when she heard it, she ran, and then her boyfriend was the one that was shooting back. That's the only time if a cop is sitting there saying, I'm sorry, if somebody comes through my door, I don't care if you say cop, 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 I'm still shooting.
I'm shooting. You busting in my door. That should be a natural reaction with anybody. I'm
shooting, and then I'm reloading, and I'm shooting. I'm shooting until I got no more ammo. Or y'all, I'm dead, or y'all dead. I'll deal with the repercussions later because
make no mistake. Make no mistake, if that was one of those cops that got shot and killed, there would already be charges.
Right. Exactly. And here's my other thing, right? If it's a no-knock warrant and you don't announce yourself, how am I supposed to know that you're a robber?
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, come on, are you serious? There's people that get robbed every day at gunpoint, and you mean to tell me that I'm supposed to sit there and take in consideration somebody who just kicked off my door at their word? Fuck no. I have a gun, I will shoot.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that no-knock warrant is no good for the police or for the people that are that they're being executed on, because it puts both parties at jeopardy. Because now what you do is you're gonna have a whole bunch of cops with with itchy fingers that are gonna they're gonna want to shoot first, act later.
Yeah, they bust in the door. It's
The
like
white.
it's like when somebody busts in the door and they yell out "surprise," you react. You just instantly react.
Right. I mean, if I got my family in the house, bruh. Anyway, but we getting off topic a little bit. It was the white. I don't know what the white lady's name is. The white lady that it took her some time. It took them time to even process her. And she was a cop, and she said she had a taser.
And she had
I know who you're talking about.
Taser, but she shot her with a gun.
It slips my mind, but her.
I mistaken my gun for my taser.
I've held the taser before. It's nowhere near the weight of a gun that's loaded. I've held both. They're not even remotely the same. I was like, bro. But anyway, so MLK stands most iconic people to me, right? Marcus Garvey will be at the top for me. Then it will be Malcolm X and then MLK. MLK had he motivated a lot of Christians to get them to see the power of their vote, see the power of and actually using the powers that were bestowed upon them by just being American citizens. And then showing that the system itself is flawed because you have the people who are using XYZ laws to keep them from voting. Your vote is powerful, right? And I don't think we've been educated or we have been taught to believe in that. Hasn't been a person like that in a long time. And that's why I feel like that's why they had to assassinate him. Now it's on government record. It's open documents that the government was found liable for having him killed. His family sued the government and they won because they were able to prove that the government was involved in it. J. Edgar Hoover was quoted saying that they had to prevent the rise of a black messiah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why at the times that these two men, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, were both doing their political movement and being justice fighters, they were having difficult times and why they were assassinated. I'm going to do a little bit more research for Malcolm X, but Malcolm X, he also was assassinated, but they said it was brothers that were also Muslim, and come to find out that may not be the case. Just in the same case as far as Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, they said, was assassinated by James Earl Ray. There's a documentary on Netflix that states that this is not exactly true. And that's why I'm like, huh. And then come to find out, as much shit as I give Facebook and Instagram and whatnot, there are certain people or certain things that are on there that you can find just like those tiny little specks of truth that are enlightening, right? And then so it made me want to do a little bit more research, right? So I went to the archives.gov and found out a lot of interesting stuff. If you don't know what archives.gov is, it's pretty much the website of archives from historical past or historical dealings with people, places, and things, right? You can find documents, names of people that were involved. These are one of the things that I use to get like factual information, stuff that is actually factual, not anything that is like hearsay or anything like that, especially when you're pertaining to someone as iconic as Martin Luther King. So the man himself was a legend. Yes. Yes. That's it, Jay.
Okay.
So, so I tell you, like, what do you? So I'm gonna ask y'all this, right? Who do you think would be able to, in this day and age, do we even need somebody like that?
Yes. 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 We do.
Why you say that, then?
Every generation needs that MLK, Marcus Garvey, etc. Because again, yes, we make progress, in regards to some of the things that these guys fought for, but we're still fighting this fight too. In order to finish the fight, we need a leader. I've said it before, on previous podcasts. We know it's people, and that's just not even black people, white people, Latina, etc. We know what we want to say. We just don't know how to say it. When you look at the past year, 2 years with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and Trayvon Martin, and so forth, right? We tried protesting peacefully. We tried not saying nothing. No one listened until we became destructive. But this is what we are known for. That was the expectation. You see what I'm saying? They know this is we own, and even when we're not doing those two things, the impression that they have of us is that we are an aggressive, angry people, and we're not. Our biggest weakness, especially as black people, our biggest weakness is that we forgive too damn much. That is our biggest weakness. We forgive. We need that voice. We need that leader to speak for us. We know it. We know exactly what we want to say. We know what we want to say. We just don't know how to say it. When we speak with fire. We need to speak with calm to get our point across. But we need someone to deliver that message. It's like going into court without a lawyer. You're the defendant. You're going into court without a lawyer, and the plaintiff has a lawyer. Who's the judge going to listen to? Unless you're a defendant who does some research, who's done what they need to do to prepare themselves properly, to control yourself and all etc. You going in there blind and just trying to make your point, even though you might have a valid point. You don't know how to interpret it. That lawyer who has no clue what's going on, that lawyer who knows that you are innocent as the defendant, he's going to eat you alive because he knows how to work that judge. He knows what to say. And it's the same thing with us. The world is the judge. The world sees everything that's going on with us, right? As black people. But because we come off so aggressive, so strong, because no one's listened to us. No one's listened to us before we took up fisticuffs. You see what I'm saying? We have to go in with so much energy just to get some attention. When you look at all the celebrities and everything, when these situations took place the past 2 years, you look at how many of them stepped up and spoke. I went on Twitter and I said, where are they now? We saw John Boyega in the UK standing on top of a car, speaking on our behalf. Thank you. But where are you right now? You know what I'm saying? We have the voice. I love Jay-Z to death. I love Jay-Z to death. I love all his music. We share the same birthday. His middle name is my first name. Probably gave you out too much info. But I'm telling you, Jay-Z, that is a voice that can get us to where we want to be because he has the ear, regardless. He has everybody's ear, regardless of color, regardless of gender. He has everybody's ear. Megan Thee Stallion don't have that.
Don't.
You see what I'm saying? LeBron James has that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but in all respect, they're doing,
They're doing what they do. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate it. I really do. But we need more.
We need more people.
We need, now, when I say more people, we need more people to consistently not just do these things, speak up, go in and fight. And it's one, don't get me wrong. Again, I appreciate everything that they do. But we need the leader out front. We need that person that's gonna set aside, that's gonna make that sacrifice and say, you know what? It's about the people. Put everything else to the side and say, you know what? This is my singular focus now. Taking care of my people. They're doing it. They're just quiet about it. The world needs to hear you. They need to actually hear you. Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, see you. Lay it on the line for us. That's what we don't have. Tupac would have been that. Biggie would have been that. LeBron James can be that. Jay-Z can be that. You see what I'm saying?
So I hit on that.
And let me say this: when I bring the names up, I'm not bringing the names up just to single them out, right? I'm not singling them out. All right. I'm just saying, with their stature, that's the stature that we need right now. I can go to Google right now, fresh, and something involving LeBron James and the Lakers is going to come up. Not saying I'm singling that particular person out, but that is the stature that we need. If you go to Google right now, and you ain't even got to type nothing else, just put in the letters MLK. This man's whole biography come up on Wikipedia. That's the first thing. That's what we need. That's what we need. We need that voice.
Now, the biggest thing about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Black Panther movement, they're efficient leaders.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that sticks out about that one lead is that they understood one thing and one sole purpose. And like I said before, it reverts back to that one thing. You have to be able to work both sides of the coin. And this time and generation, people, it's crazy to say it, a lot of black people really don't care to read and understand politics, don't care to understand rules, laws, any political aspect. If it ain't got nothing to do with them, they ain't studying. That old saying,
if you want to hire something for black people, put it in a book.
Facts. And that is factual for a lot of black people. Some people, I'd rather listen to an audio book than actually read a book. But I'd rather sit here and let YouTube read this book to me instead of me reading it. What? We don't work both sides of the coin. When I say there's nothing wrong with the purpose of rioting, there was nothing wrong with the purpose of a peaceful movement. There was nothing wrong with those aspects. The only thing that is lacked is that one person who knew how to work both sides of the coin.
That's it.
Because if you can hit that political aspect along with being able to control and understand the mind of each and every individual that you're trying to outreach to, that makes you a most powerful person in the world. You got to understand, each key leader that has been either assassinated, killed, you know, died off, whatever they want to put it, each one had the ability to work both sides of the coin, whether they were black, whether they were white, whether they were Jewish, whether they were freaking Russian. Look at it. People in life hate Martin Luther King's name. They hate Malcolm X's name. They hate the respective Black Panther name itself. They hated Osama bin Laden. They hated freaking Hitler.
They hated Allen Iverson.
You get what I'm saying? So, but with that hate, if you see the one collective thing of each and every last one of these people, they worked both sides of the coin. Look at the situation. Hitler, even take it on Hitler aspect, he created an entire army that trusted and enforced his words and visions.
And the crazy part about that, right? That army that created the first country they invaded was his own.
Exactly. And everyone in the world did not understand how he did it. Everyone in the world didn't understand how one person created an entire nation to take out an entire race of people. And no one understood the concept of how he was able to do it without the government stepping in and stopping him. But what they didn't realize, he worked both sides of the coin.
He worked a lot, and they all did. They all did. Yeah. They work a lot. They take what's given to them and they work it to their advantage.
Exactly. Martin Luther King did not take his purpose and push it. He took our purpose and fed it to each person. Said, my Black people, we can get our freedom. We can use our votes. We can use our voice. We can be free. My white people, you can get benefits like this. We can help you with this. We can come together, start teaching this, make this one whole. We can all do this together. That political aspect, boom. Well, legally and by law, it doesn't state anything about us not being able to vote. We are people. The law states this, and this, and this is what we should get. The law states this, and this, and this is what we are entitled to according to the law. He worked both aspects.
Getting what's due to us.
Yeah. And the ability to work both aspects is what?
Yep.
Something on the Barack Obama.
P, you over there in deep thought. What you thinking, man?
I'm just taking in what y'all was sitting there saying, because if you look at it, like, I wish he was alive until this point now, right? Because the Black vote on I want to say on the presidential scale, is really not doing us anything. I'm just gonna call spade a spade. It hasn't done us anything. We've gotten promises and promises from multiple presidents, and nothing's happened. Look at Biden. He got elected in. He promised he would sit there and do shit. It didn't happen. Barack Obama, same thing.
I mean,
that's one of the reasons why I asked, do we need somebody like that so that we can have somebody to go into the office and gut check, like, hey, listen here, you said this and you didn't do that. You know what? Come next election, I'm gonna motivate everybody that voted for you to not vote for you.
Yep, and instead of going for next election, we can go right now. We can impeach you and replace you.
Yeah.
That's why I said we definitely need that voice. So.
And in this day and age, in this capitalistic society, it has caused everybody to be greedy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks about themselves. Now,
Yep.
Martin Luther King, he got rich, poor, middle class, all different types of classes to sit there and go and vote as one, or to sit there and mobilize as one. But he's trying to get a millionaire to sit there and do that today. Try to get one of these guys that sit there and own a multi-million. Do you think Jeff Bezos is gonna sit there and vote Democratic? Do you think
He's looking to protect his money.
right?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you think Elon Musk is gonna vote Democratic? I'm pretty sure I would be willing to bet a month's paycheck to sit there and say that they voted for Trump. They're getting the biggest tax breaks.
Yeah.
But this is why I say, we need that voice that's willing to sacrifice. The people who have the voice, who have the platform, they're at that celebrity status. The minute they actually really, really, really start sticking their neck out and they really, really start speaking, they stand to, at least I feel like they stand to lose a lot.
Yeah. And that's what they fear.
Because they could, just like we sat there and said, right? We said Jay-Z, who else?
It's that LeBron James.
LeBron James. You gotta realize that there's still a white man that signs their checks to them. Like, you know what I mean? As much as self-made men as they try to be, there's still a white man that sits over them and hands them over a check.
And the concept was very simple.
They stand.
The reason Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, the reason they made it so far is because they were willing to do one thing: sacrifice it all.
They laid it, and that's why I keep saying we need that voice to lay it on the line and say, you know what, this is where it's going to be.
Look at Colin Kaepernick, right? He started doing all the social justice stuff. He got blackballed out of the NFL. Again, person wanted to risk it all, but he got ushered out. He got pushed out of the league by white people that own the league. It would be a difficult thing this day and age, just because the way capitalism is. I think capitalism has made people greedier and more self-aware, or not more self-aware. I think it has made them too self-aware. If I'm being frank, they're too self-aware. They're too involved with themselves to sit there and think, "Hey, I should help my person to the left and right." Black people back in the day, they used to stick together. Nowadays, we're like, "Don't even fucking come near me."
Yep. And I think that's one of the things that's holding us back too. Again, I say the best thing we can do sometimes is have a conversation. And that ain't just as black and white people, black people alone. We don't talk enough.
Yeah.
We don't hold enough conversation. I'm
Social
guilty.
media,
I already established. I have trust issues. My circle is very, very small. But there's a reason why my circle is small. We don't talk enough. I think if we ever put our differences to the side, we may not ever get that voice that we need. But I think it's like people, if we just put our differences to the side, stop, when we start seeing past materialistic stuff, then we can start making progress. That is the only way we're going to be able to do it without that voice.
Yep.
We start seeing past materialistic things because we're caught up in bullshit. We're caught up in bullshit.
They gotta stop getting distracted.
We were going by an iPad or a Kindle or a tablet and watch Netflix on it instead of downloading the book.
Yep.
Because again, when I hire something from black people, put it in the book. We don't talk amongst each other like we should, like we need to. And a lot of us just don't damn read.
Yep. And
A
in
lot of
addition
us,
to that, a lot of them just not productive. You hear a lot of celebrities and a lot of people speak on, there are 24 hours in a day. If you're telling me I take 12 hours to work, that's 12 hours of sleep.
that's how,
And I
and
get,
that's how our mind thinks.
hmm and if I got to work for 12 hours and I sleep for 12 hours, those 12 hours I was sleeping, I could have decreased that down to 6, giving me 18 hours of efficient working and mindset, being able to put myself forward and activating another concept in my mind to work and get myself to move forward in life. How many times do you see sidetrack on this? Us as men, we'll wake up in the morning. How many times you see your spouse or one of your kids or something on TikTok automatically as soon as they wake up? That's the most productive thing they want to do is get on social media and look at somebody else's life instead of being like,
I think we've become so disinterested, or we've become so involved with wanting to live somebody else's life. We've become so disinterested in ourselves and building ourselves up that I think it's more fascinating to sit there and live in this world where, hey, I wonder what this person's doing, because I could fantasize about what they're doing and I could get lost in that world.
We're institutionalized we're institutionalized basically. When you think about it, we are a slave to these artificial things, these things.
I think that,
and everybody is guilty of it, right? We don't touch an alarm clock no more. We set the alarm on our phone.
Yeah.
That's the first thing we grab. If it ain't the first thing we grab when we wake up, it's the first thing we grab it as we're rolling out of bed. I'm guilty of it. I'm not gonna lie. You take Facebook, right? Every once in a while, I completely disengage from Facebook, deactivate everything. You won't find me. I do this for a reason. Facebook is an addiction. If you just take a second and you grab your phone, you might not even realize it. Your fingers automatically go to Facebook. It's just automatic. Swipes. It just, you don't even realize it until you already on Facebook scrolling through that news feed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that is a platform that can be used by one of these celebrity status people to speak for us. Because they know, like we know, that shit is second nature. It's second nature. That's what we do.
So I think, to add on to what you're saying, right? I think one of the things that contributes to that is the instant gratification that people see from these stars. Like we were talking about, like the Meg Thee Stallions, the Cardi B's, the all these rappers that come out here and live this lifestyle, all these guys, and they go and sit there and see, hey, I can get it like that too. I just gotta be able to do this, do that, do this, and then in some way or shape form, they are studying what they want to do, right? I don't necessarily think this crowd, the youth is lazy. And I don't think that they don't have ambition. I think they're being ushered into the wrong things.
I didn't say they just lack guidance.
Yeah. When's the last
It's Sunday, January 23rd, 2022.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know why Siri thinks I was talking to her.
Wow. So I think if anything, this youth here is probably the most ambitious, most energetic, most hardworking generation that we've had probably in the last 10 to 20 years. Because these guys are really go-getters. Like they will look at something, they will try to go and produce it and go and get it. The problem is that everybody's trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's and I feel like everybody's turning out copy and paste. It's copy and paste, copy and paste. When was the last time you heard a kid sit there and say, I want to be a doctor?
Fact. Everybody.
I want to be an accountant. When was the last time you heard a kid sit there and say, I want to be an architect? And the reason why is because everybody wants to be basketball players, football players, rappers. And these things offer, to some level, instant gratification.
Yep.
And I say that because these things that we sit there and that people, I remember when I was growing up, I wanted to be an architect or an accountant because I was really good with numbers, like really good with numbers. And I was like, you know what? I want to be an architect because it's still numbers, but I was fascinated because I could draw really good. But I love Run DMC. I love hip hop. I love Wu-Tang. I love I'm showing my age here. God damn.
No, man, it's cool, man. I already told my age. I worked at the ballpark in the 90s, so figure it out.
I love Jay-Z, Biggie Smalls. I loved all those guys. But that's not something that I was like, all my chips are on these things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and there's, I don't think the perspective is coming from the parents. Parents are not providing them with perspective like, hey, you should do this. You need to focus on this. I think, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm rambling on. But anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go rambling on that long.
You good.
What the hell is that?
You good.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, I don't know. But the things that I think the things that we're doing now with the gifts that we've been afforded by these various men that provided these movements, I think they would be appalled if they seen how this stuff turned out.
Fact.
I think they would be so appalled. I think they would be like, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I fought for.
I definitely agree with you on that.
We got all this freedom now just to still be enslaved.
We got all this freedom, and we all trying to do the same damn thing.
I don't know. I don't think Martin Luther King will be too proud to sit there and have like a Cardi B or Meg Thee Stallion.
Man, this is look. He'd probably be thinking, "This is what I gave my life for." He probably think they probably sit up there in the great heavens now, being like, "Is this really what we fought and gave our lives for?"
Yeah, I don't think it, yeah, because this is it's so nasty and reeks of desperation of wanting to be rich that people don't even see it. They will sell their souls to sit there and get rich instead of worrying about each other.
But it goes back to what I said. It's not just in regards to civil rights and all that other stuff. We don't have an actual voice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a voice. We don't have a voice for someone to go to that person and say, think about what you represent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, think about how you portray yourself. But you know, Lupe Fiasco had a song. You might have heard it. It's called "Bitch Bad." The hook says, "Bitch bad, woman good, lady better. She misunderstood." Go back and go back and listen to that song. "Bitch Bad" by Lupe Fiasco. That's what I think about. And I'm not singling out women. I'm not singling a woman out. The point that I'm making is that we just don't have that voice to point, to define those differences and everything to us.
Yeah.
When I see I'm just gonna say a person. When I see a person, fuck it, I'm going for it. Y'all just have to be mad at me. I go out, I see a woman, and she's dressed in this particular way, in an advertising type of way. My initial mindset is temporary. That person is living in the moment.
Yeah.
I like what I see. I'm just gonna keep it 100 because again, I'm a walking contradiction. I like what I see. Look good, but I also think temporary. And I apply the same concept with men. Yeah, you got it. You got swag. You got swaggle. That's cool. Whatever you want to call it. You got drip. You got sauce. That's temporary.
Yeah.
Now, when I see it on the other spectrum, and I'm not saying in the club or whatnot, but there are cases where people really present themselves well. This is the direction that I'm looking at. This is the direction that I'm going in because that person to me has a long-term mindset. See what I'm saying? It's like when you buy a car. A person buys a car, right? Let's say a person goes and buy a Chevy. And, you kit it out. Rims, lift, job, et cetera, right? We all know, first and foremost, the minute that car leaves the lot, it immediately depreciates in value.
Yeah.
When you buy this car and you put all this other additional stuff on it, it immediately starts to depreciate. And in order for you to get back, correct me if I'm wrong, but in order to get back most of what you already put in that car, that same car that you just kitted out, you got to get that thing back to factory settings as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because if you selling me a box Chevy with rims and all that, like these big 24-inch rims, and I'm not against it, don't get me wrong. Hey, live, my brother, do you. But if you expect me to buy that as is, and you'd say, oh, I'm selling this for $5,000 because I'm trying to get the money back from my rims and everything else, man, you may as well come on and settle for this $2,000 because I'm already thinking about the miles that's been put on it. I'm thinking about the insurance that has to be paid on it because of all of this stuff. I'm thinking about the maintenance upkeep because that puts a lot of wear and tear and stress on the vehicle. You see what I'm saying? And this is the concept that I apply to life. Again, like I say, when I see the flash, that's cool. It look good. I'm happy for you. You living. But that represents something temporary to me. There's no lasting gratification behind it. From the other spectrum, when I see you professionalize yourself, you start thinking about, what you look like, how you're gonna present yourself and all the et cetera. I think long term. This is how I see it. Take Nas, right? I'm gonna make this point real quick. Nas' career, not to say that it has been up and down, it's been up and down, but he's had some moments where he had a couple albums where it's like, the hell going on?
Mm-hmm.
But Nas has always been consistent. Consistent money is much better than that immediate hit. So you put Nas in an box and you put the average rapper, right? The average rapper is looking for that one hit that's going to get them out there. They're going to make a good chunk of money, fade walk, and that's it. You're not going to hear from him no more. But you have Nas, 10, 12 albums deep. $250,000, $500,000 each. His money is consistent. That is the mindset that we don't have. We don't think consistent. We don't move consistent. We look for that instant gratification. And that is one of the things that set us back. A person would do a YouTube video right now, and they'll come back an hour, expect to see 100,000 views. Slow progress better than no progress.
Yeah.
You want that
use them?
No, I feel you, but but we know we have to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
We have to put in the work. There's no wake up. Ooh. I had a person on Facebook a few months ago. Oh my God, did you see my TikTok video? I'm going viral. Ain't heard from him since. And that was this time last year.
You said what? Is that what?
I'm going viral. I never watched the video. They just posted on Facebook. I'm going viral. Blah, 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 blah. And they heard from him since. That was this time last year. What are you trying to do? You know? Maybe I'm just old. I have a long-term mindset. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me for ranting, but I think I'm done.
You got anything, you know? I have more than, but this topic it leads into
a plethora of other topics.
Yeah.
It's that, but it distracts from what we came to talk about Martin Luther King, and I don't want it to do that. But I just wanted to say, like, the things that I appreciate about Martin Luther King, and then then we could go from there. I don't. There are some glaring issues that we have an issue with, but I didn't want to take away from him. We should always respect our elders, and I felt like this is one of the ways that we could respect them, at least show some type of love. People don't show love to their elders too often, and I think we've gotten away from that as a people.
Yeah.
Give flowers too late.
Mm-hmm. People get flowers when they're gone, and it shouldn't be that way.
I concur.
But all right, gentlemen, y'all got anything else for this topic?
Hey, I appreciate all the energies and efforts given from Martin Luther King for us to reap the benefits of. Let's not let those efforts go in vain. Let's continue fighting the good fight that we always have been fighting. Because stuff like social media is a little easier for us, and that's all the more reason why we should continue to fight it. But all the efforts that Martin Luther King gave, I appreciate it. And that's about to go watch that documentary.
Hey, you already know, man. I tell y'all very plain and simple. Pressure makes diamonds. Don't be afraid to apply the pressure for something that you want. Don't be afraid to pick up that book and look into something that you want. Don't be afraid to try something and fail a couple of times, because you bound to fall. You got to get back up. Pressure applied creates diamonds.
So on one of the things that I wanted to sit there and say was how do I put this without getting in trouble?
Hold your peace, man.
I think Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, if they would have gotten a chance to really reconcile what their differences were, the black community would have been in a better state. All right. These men were iconic, and they were passionate about their people. something that we don't have these days. The only passion that we have for each other is how much money you can spend on me or what you can buy, which is completely bull.
Materialistic.
Right. But on another note, I think we need to get back to the roots of these things, get back to the roots of what these men were fighting for us to progress and to continue to go forward. All right. I appreciate a lot of stuff that Martin Luther King did. I even appreciate when he acknowledged his fuck ups, because when he was fighting for integration, he later on he made a comment. He was like, "I wonder if I ushered my people into a burning building," when he realized that integration was may not work out the way he thought it would. And that's a character of a leader that I would, if somebody was going to lead me, that's what I would want. So the man to still have the strength to sit there and say, I fucked up, let's go on. You know what I mean? But yeah. Watch the documentary, all right? Please watch the documentary, because if you look up the documentary and you look at the notes in the on that archive website that I put out earlier, archive.gov, you look up some of the court records, you'll see that the family won when they sued the government for some of the stuff. Even on the archive.gov, it says that the trajectory of the bullet wasn't from where they said it was. It said it was from somewhere else. So I'm not gonna sit there and put it out for you. What I'm encouraging you to do is to go to the website and look it up and read for yourself.
Yeah.
Head and watch the documentary, take notes, look it up. All right, and then formulate, your own opinions from this. Okay. On that note, I don't have anything. Gentlemen, do you have anything for this topic?
Hey, be safe out there. Be safe.
You?
Hey, you already know. Peace, love, tranquility.
All right, y'all. Y'all know my slogan. Be safe and stay dangerous. All right.
There it is.
I'll see you then.
Peace.
All right.